started, then we just have this open the whole time. Okay, and then you can see what it looks like.
Yeah, I care more about this.
You guys ready, right?
Yeah, is it streaming right?
Yeah.
Are we live?
Don't shoot it. All right, let me check my shot.
Is it showing up? Did you see it yet?
I do not see it yet. Atlantic.
Hey, go get him, AJ.
Not yet. Should be on Atlantic Camden Singles Tour.
Oh, so much fun already.
Are they starting?
Yeah, it's starting. It's a streaming. Try it.
Here we go. Hello and welcome to Ryan's Family Amusements here in Millis. We have a doubleheader, a matchup in the D division between John Ahern and Maurice Perry. And in the B division, we have Pete Rishatelli visiting AJ Stockton. Match is underway. Each bowler has bowled one box, and we're going to try to get the scores up to date here, with John getting it 10 to start. And it looks like John just got a strike, so we get to try the old strike button here. Now remember, John is not bowling AJ. Their competitors will be coming up right after this. AJ with the 9 and a 10. John working on his strike. Both of these bowlers bowled earlier today in 6 strings, so they should be all warmed up in the Millis Once a Month League. 2 3-string matches. That's John on a strike, and he gets 6 fill. Oh, and AJ had got 9. Okay, so we try to get the scoreboard up to date here. 10.
We got a first ring. Josh,
So AJ's up in the 4th box, 27 through 3.
Mike, go.
That's a big 9-pin drop with a friendly piece of wood to the left. John, good head pin hit, leaves 3 pins from the back row. AJ off to the right. John with a pretty spare. AJ with an ace. Just saw AJ bowl third string of the second match of 132. AJ was really pounding the head pin. Just off to the right there with the half Worcester on the right hand side. John on his spare. Off to the right, but gets somewhat of a mix of 5 fill. And both bowlers be throwing their third ball here in the 5th box. That's a 9 for AJ. And John going to try to get a couple anyway. Nope, just one. That'll be a 6. 55 for John through 5. AJ with 44. Now stepping up, Maurice Perry and Pete Ricciatelli. Pete coming up from the Cape area. Take on Maurice. He also bowled earlier today, so he should be all warmed up.
Sorry.
There's Pete's first ball. Off to the left. It's at least 3 that I can see. Maurice getting a mix here. Maurice's home lanes are Ron's in Hyde Park. Many people also know it and have known it and know it as the 20th century. He's going to try to run it down for 10. Wonders why the last 2 do not go. An 8 box. And for Maurice, that's an 8 as well. So remember, Pete is bowling against AJ. They're in the B South Division. This is a great first ball, looking like a big hit, but it's a split. Maurice bowling against John. A critical matchup in the wild card area in that particular D South matchup. Both bowlers fighting for a wild card spot. Pete does hit the object pin a little bit too lightly. The object pin just falls into the gutter, and that's it. That's a 10 for Maurice. Or actually, a spare. And we'll give that a 7 for Pete. So. Up steps Pete, third box. Again, right into the head pin. This time, another splish. Maurice on his spare. Wow, doesn't hit the head pin, but leaves nothing but the 10. And he's got a lot of wood to work with. Pete, let's see how he decides to play this one. He's got some wood. He's going to go with it and hope. Spray and pray, and his prayers are answered. Maurice for 2 in a row. He connects as well. Matching spare spares for each of these guys. And Pete just off the head pin, and would you believe it? That was not looking like a half Worcester ball, but that's what it ends up being. Maurice just gets 3 himself. Almost connects with the spare, and Pete's got the high-low jack. No money if he makes it, and he does. No jackpot, no reward, but no reward, but a $10. Maurice with a 9. That was pretty.
At least get an 11 or something.
Pete wants an 11 for that connecting on the high-low. 49. So somewhere I missed a pin for Maurice. So yeah, I did miss a pin for Maurice up here. Give him a 9 up here. You right? Yep. So everyone's scores are accurate here at the new scoreboard for me. John Ahern's going to gather that pin that came a pretty good distance down the lane. So, Pete shooting for a spare. He's got the single pin. For the 7. And it just misses by a hair. Maurice with a pack of 5. Hits the object pin. Only 3 out of 5. Go down Pete for his 10. It's on the other side, so that's a 9 box. 46, you'll have a 2-pin lead over AJ, and then 8 for Maurice. Gives him 57, so actually at this point in the match, our D bowlers are out bowling our B bowlers. Maurice 57, John 55, as we're halfway home to the first string. Both matches, 2-pin difference here, so it's going to be close, looks like, for both of these, at least halfway through right now. Once again, we are Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis. I'm Dave Peterson. Lots of action here today. Earlier today with the Millis Once a Month League, the bowls 2 3-string matches. And to our left is another doubleheader ACST going on as well. John, not on a spare, but just picks off just 1, so it's a spare lead for AJ with an 8-pin drop. John will need a big out ball here. AJ hoping to hit the object and something to fly over and knock over the 7. Just misses the object. That's a really good out ball by John. That's a 9 box. AJ goes down the middle for an 8. So, John back up at it again here. Box 7 of the first string of 5. And almost a strike. That 4-pin fell towards the 7, but just missed. And we do have a delay here on lane 21, AJ's lane. Get a reset in process. Good first ball by AJ. Leaves the triangle. A dastardly leave, as we know. John was heading right at it, and it took a left into the channel just before the 7. Would have liked to have that one for sure. AJ just off to the left. And this time John connects for the 10 box. And AJ for 9. 10. So both matches, 2-pin matches, each bowler looking for a mark or two. And that one does go over for John.
Nice try.
AJ trying to match. Ooh. It does. Both bowlers with strikes here in the 8th.
How's that technically matching it?
Both bowlers looking to put a little pressure on their competitors when they step up so that they will at least need a mark or two. But still 2 to go and some 2 big balls right here for Phillips. John gets 3 off to the left, but he's got another one. Same deal with AJ. Looking for a double. Close, but the next best thing is having a friendly piece of wood. Let's see what happens with that one. Rolls out. I think AJ will play it. John hooks it. So just a 3 fill. Disappointing. Gonna need a big out ball here. Oh, goodness. People here surprised at that one. They did not see that one coming.
All right, get it back.
Somehow I've goofed up the score. Where's Maurice? All right, I know I goofed up here for a strike. I kind of know what I did. Let's try to get our scoreboard intact here. John in his final box.
Thank
Great, thank you. Oh. Let's see, what did AJ get?
Yeah, we're going to score next door. I hope they sell ice.
8. Yep. So I hit.
Don't click on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and then back up, right? And AJ gets a spare, and got a 10 in this box here. John gets a 10 over here for a even 100. AJ had gotten a spare over here and a 7 fill on that. And good finish by AJ. 106. So both bowlers stepping up here right now, Maurice and Pete, as they switch lanes from where they started out, each knowing what they will need. Maurice needs 44 to take the first string, so it does not need a mark. Pete needs 61, 60 to tie, 61, so he'll need really at least 2 marks. Let's see what happens here. Maurice is top to the right. And Pete gets the first of the spares that he's going to need. And Maurice gets it for a 10.
$8. They have it. It cost me the string.
Maurice with a 7-pin drop. Pete working on his spare here.
$8.
It's a 7 fill. And Pete for second spare in a row, and he nails it. Clutch, big spare. And Maurice with a 7. So 74 for Maurice. It's 27, so you can still get 3 9s, but can't afford a really bad box. Or else you'll need a spare. Or a strike. Pete's working on his spare right now. And he connects with the hit pin, and pins are flying. That's a 9-pin drop and a big 9 fill. Maurice with the pack of 5. Nice shot. All but the 9-pin. Pete with 3 in a row. And that's a 9 for Maurice. So he is at 83. Needs 18 pins to take the string.
Coming.
And that's a great time to throw a strike for Maurice. So that should give him a string in the first 2 points. That's a 6 fill for Pete. That should be 98, so we're right on target here. He's officially taken his first string. And that'll be a 9 box. So, Pete at 107 has already taken AJ's 106. Maurice with a big ball here. That will be his fill. And a good ball. We'll put him over the top here. Won't have to worry about it. A 3rd ball. And we have a fill of 5. So that does give Maurice the string. He's at 103 right now. And a 6 box, but that's all he needed to take his first string at 2 points. Pete gonna wrap it up with a 5. Let's see. What the heck did he get? That's a 5 fill. And a spare here and a 5. 7. Get the scoreboard correct. Finish the first string. So it's official. Pete 122 to 106 over AJ Stockton. Maurice 104 against John's 100.
Can I share a fun fact for the viewers?
Yes.
13 matches. That's only the 2nd time all season I've won the first string.
Wow.
Not that I deserve to win that.
I was going to say you made the you got 3 marks in a row, so you got no money for that. But you would have, and you got it,
And the high-low.
the high-low, and you get no money for that. So.
Yeah.
But Peter just mentioned of the 13 matches he's had, this is only the second time he has won the first string. So AJ with the spare. And if any of you have any comments out there, I should be able to see them on my cell phone. Thanks everyone for watching. So we have 6, 7, 8 viewers out there. And John gets a $5 to start. So AJ with the 6 fill.
That's the ball right there.
Oh, looked like the strike ball there for John, but leaves just the 10 pin, and he had a guide, but it's rolling away, but I'm sure it'll go right at the pin. He does, and he connects for a nice spare. And AJ with an 8, 24 through 2. AJ, that looks like a friendly piece of wood right down the center. There is a double piece there, so sometimes you never know. John, disappointing one fill. AJ plows it through. Much better ball for John right there. John going to try to get 1 or 2 out of that mess. And he gets that same 10 pin. He got a second to go for the spare. This time helps him get in $8. And half Worcester. That hurts on a spare, but it is 12. John gets a late falling pin there. AJ, that was a really good ball. I thought one would go on that one. John with a good ball. He's surprised at that outcome. Just leaves the 2 and 8, which would be the half Worcester on the left-hand side. That's a $6 for AJ and a 9 for John. So, final box here in this half. AJ coming into this match with a record of 82 and 72, second place in Division 1. Averaging 112. And Pete Rischitelli, 66 and 102, but averaging 108.85. It's in the 4th division. So both bowlers, as the playoff season gets close, looking to can't win the division, improve their standing for wild card positioning, which AJ is in the wild card in the playoffs right now, and really you just want to get into the playoffs and then see what happens after that. So that's an 8 for AJ, a 50 first half. And John just gets an 8 out of that, even though he hits the object pin. 441. Yeah, right now AJ is in the 7th slot, so definitely in the playoffs. Pete still with some number of matches to go, looking for a good day today, and he's won the first string.
All favorite.
And Maurice gets some good action there, not hitting the head pin, but getting down in eight pins. Pete trying to run down these 3, throws a nice ball, and just like dominoes, he delivers.
Any people watching?
Let's see for Maurice. Oh, well, sends the head pin flying. That's a 9. And Pete hits the 2 pin. No action there to speak of, just a 4 fill. Oh, he got it. He turned around and surprised to see it go. Oh, and Maureen just chips out the 3.
Later, so I don't know what happened.
Maurice trying to get a couple out of this ugly leave and hits the object. Nothing. Just the head pin and that's it. So 15 through 2. Pete working on another spare fill. Starts the 2nd string with 2 marks in a row. And he's right down the middle. He sure is down the middle. Spread eagle rears its ugly head again. So Pete with 2 marks in his first 2 boxes, but only 4 fills on each. Oh, he throws a great ball. Can you believe it? He gets the whole left side and doesn't get the 10. He's going to have to watch that on replay, too. We wanted to see his second spare replay, but that... I don't remember ever seeing that, to be honest. Someone getting the opposite side, but not getting the last pin on the right-hand side when aiming for that. So, an eventful 9 box for Pete. And poor Maurice hits the object pin again on his 3rd ball like the last box and still ends up with a 6.
Ball out there. Get your ball out there.
Pete with an 8-pin drop and a very friendly piece of wood. Maurice looking for a break here. Gets a split. Maurice definitely in the playoff hunt in the D area. Right now he's currently in the playoffs as a wild card in the 7th slot. Here's Pete. He connects. John Ahern definitely in the hunt. Right now he's on the outside looking in, but it's a tight playoff ratings. So John definitely with a good day today and a good finish has an opportunity.
When you see as many splits as I do, eventually you gotta make
Here's Pete on another spare. That's a 7 fill. Maurice picks the 3 off on the end. And Pete just off to the right, but he got 3 marks here in his first 5, but at least had a good fill in the final one. And Maurice, no luck whatsoever. Again, hitting the object pin. And a 9 for Pete. And a 9 for Maurice. So we're going to catch up with the scoreboard here. 8 and 9. So we get everyone's scores up to date. AJ with a big strike there, down 8-13 here coming into the second half. So no better remedy of coming back from down 13 or so than a strike with your first ball to start the second half. John with a really good out of that lead. He leads by 3 pins at the halfway point of his match. And John connects with a strike himself. AJ looking for a double, leaves the triangle. And just picks off 1, so that'll be an 8 fill on the strike. What? I think I moved that up. No, I didn't. 68, and we're going to add another pin to that. So 77 through 7. John is at 60 with 2 balls. Again, these bowlers are not bowling each other, but John's looking for a double himself. Let's hope it's for some backdoor action, but leaves the 4 horsemen right inside. AJ, another great first ball. 9-pin drop. Looks like friendly wood to the left. So there'll be a 9 fill on John's strike. And AJ uses the wood. Big spare. And John with a 10. Ninth box for John. We'll need a mark to get over 100. This one won't be easy, although pins are still falling. Suddenly that looks a little better. Pins falling for AJ, leaving 3 out of the 4 on the back deck and several pieces of wood. John's going to spray. Wow! But only 1 out of the 3. Oh, a heck of an effort by AJ. 8 for John. 10 for AJ. Final box for each of these bowlers. Then their competitors will see what they need. Both would really want to mark here. 2 possibilities. Neither of them I'd consider probables, but good balls and definitely can be done. Oh, and that was a good ball, and nothing happened. Good for John anyway. And there we go, AJ, clutch spare. John looking for some pinning here. Well, he gets 1. So that's an 8 and a 95. But at least John did get a big strike with a 9 fill. AJ! As Bob Forig would say, that's the home run ball. Hopefully this scoring system will pick this up correctly, but we'll get it right eventually. We did. So it's a 124 for AJ. Big 20 box in the end. Up step Maurice. At 38, chasing 95. Definitely needs at least 1 mark. And now Pete was at 63, chasing 124, so he's going to need at least 2 himself. And gives that a heck of a ride.
Almost wrecks its biz.
Another punch out for Maurice. Gets 9 instead of 8, instead of 10, but both bowlers with 9s. All right, Maurice back at it again on the head pin, and again a split. Pete on the head pin gets a 2-pinner. It's the second, by the way, for Maurice's second split here in this particular game. Pete has 1 himself. Maurice trying to hit the right-hand side of that wood there to connect with the 2 on the right and spin the wood to the left. But throws it in the channel. And Pete with the spare. So Maurice throws that one on the left side. So not meant to be for that one. 7 bucks. Maurice.
It's working.
So he's at 54 with 3 to go. He'll need at least 2 marks at this point. And connects with the 3 on the left. Pete working on a spare. And gets 6 out of that, so he's going to be content with that. Going to need at least another one. Maurice is going to need to mark in his final 2 boxes to take the second string. And off the wall, sidewall action for Pete. Second spare in a row. And that is a 7 box, right? Yeah. 7 for Maurice. That is always a tough leave. That goes down as another split. On his spare. The last pin's wiggling and it goes.
Oh, come on, nice try.
So Maurice with the 10. He'll need a double strike to have a chance to win this string. And boy, he gave that a run. So John Ahern will take the second string. For Pete. He hits the head pin lightly. It's got 7 so far. He will take the second string over AJ. Wow, 4 marks in a row. And a 9 for Maurice. Whoop. Actually, 54-61. Actually, that was a 9 box here. So a 79 for Maurice. 45. We had a spare and a 7 fill. Pete. And that should be a 145 game. So that was a heck of a comeback and a heck of a second half by Pete. 4 marks in a row. No bonus money for him today. But, does get 2 points, and points are as good as gold when you're trying to make the playoffs and move up in the standings. But that was a 82 half that he just threw after AJ. Had 3 marks in the final 5. But now we're starting string number 3. AJ back on the right and John on the left. Get the lefties going at it right here. Thank you to the 13 viewers out there for tuning in.
Maurice. Shout out to
Let's wait.
Oh, Wayne.
Let's wait. Thanks, Wayne. Gotta do better next game.
All right. Wayne Maurice says he'll try to do better next game. So AJ got an 8, John with a 9 here to restart string number 3. AJ's left with the check mark left-hand side. I don't think the wood is going to be the play there. John won't have to worry about a second ball as he connects with a strike. And just off to the right. And the second consecutive 8 box for AJ. Oh, goodness. Got to fight through that. Another half Worcester on the right-hand side. John's going to be filling his strikes. Boy, we still have a chance for a double. Pins keep falling. He's got a 9-pin drop. Could be a tricky piece of wood in front of the 10-pin there. And AJ gives that a whirl, gives that a run, and leaves the same shot Pete had on the same lane earlier. Probably is.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. There's a spare for John and an 8 for AJ. Yep. I think I hit that box again. Oh,
Okay, skate.
skate. All right, that's easy. Oh, John! Wow, 9-pin drop, leaving only the head pin.
Oh, AJ, you deserved it.
And another mark for John.
Come on.
As we catch up with the scoreboards here. John 58 in the ball here through 4. AJ right in on the head pin. And second consecutive split. John working on the spare off to the left. This time, not a 9-pin drop, but he gets 4.
Look, like I said, there's only certain people that can know. He's on the list.
Really good first half for John. AJ, that will be a 7 box. So 41 half for AJ. John with a 7. A very good first half for him. 69 through 5. And now these bowlers will start their first half of the third string. AJ and John are halfway through this match. And Pete hoping one of those falls. Not going to happen.
Hey, Josh, you gonna make that one? All right, work it out.
Another half Worcester that we see here. John cheering on Maurice, telling him to work it out.
Nice pitch,
He thought he had a chance at that. He thought that might go. Puts a lot of spin on the ball. Maurice gives that a good ride.
Nice ball.
Well, we'll have to catch up with Pete's scores in a second here. Since they're off the scoreboard, we'll get Maurice's listed here as an 8. Oh, there we go. And Pete this time gets, it's not a split. Single pin to shoot for Maurice. It's the 2-pin. Leaves 3. Might have wanted that other one to stay. Pete spot on. And 2 for Maurice gives him 17 through 2. Pete working on a spare right here. He starts his third box. Not as much action as you thought he might get out of that ball at the angle that it hit the pins. So just a 4-fill.
Finally.
Pete had 2 4-fills last string. So. Oh boy. Let's try that over here. And a 9 for Pete there. Scoreboard up to date. As well as a 9 for Maurice. Matching 9s. As these bowlers complete the first half of the match. Great first ball, and goodness gracious. Maurice off the head pin, and well, no wood to work with over there. Let's see which way Pete's going to look at this. Which wood is he going to go for? Interesting. He was just to the left of that pin, trying to cut it over. That would have taken them down. And Maurice with a pretty 110 conversion. And a 9 box for Pete. So 5th box for each bowler here. And Pete just gets 3 out of that. Maurice on his fill. Oh goodness. Just 1. Again. Good second ball by Maurice. Still leaving 3 standing, and Pete with 2. Let's see what he can do here. That's a great ball. Puts it on the exact spot you want to do that. So Pete with a 10 box, not an 8, as well as Maurice. So Pete finishes the first half with 52 up against AJ's 41. So we still got a match here. Only 11 pins. John with a big 69 first half.
Want me to tell him?
A strike and 2 spares with some good fills. He's back at it. He's going to get some action. Actually, the 3-pin moves off his spot, so an unusual leave in that respect. John with a good ball. That might take it. Oh, does not connect with the 10. The 6-pin went off the wall instead of connecting with the 10-pin. AJ with a great bid. Both bowlers snake bidding on that.
He's going right now.
That's 6 box. That's a 10 for John. And a 9 for AJ. As Steve Reno heads behind the lanes to retrieve a ball that AJ has that is still down there in the pit or stuck in the machines. John and let's see. Good shape here as I correct Maurice's score. Maurice had a 10.
not all Mike saying it.
47.
Mike saying it, right?
So at the halfway point, John had a 22-pin lead.
I saw you make that great shot. I look up there, I'm like,
Would love to add a mark or two just to make that a little bit more difficult. Had a good bid last time, and oh my. Again hits the object pin, and again doesn't go. And AJ, as they say, is all over it. Big spare. And an 8 for John.
it's near to you.
So John at 87 through 7. AJ came into the string down 11 at the halfway point. So that spare was big, and the fill will be even bigger. And Steve's done his job behind the pins, gotten the retrieved ball, and bowlers will be ready to go here. In box number 8 of the third string, John and Maurice split the first two. Pete took his first two over AJ.
Nice one.
And John off to the right, AJ on the fill ball. Disappointing 3. Oh, I'm putting it in here. Put it in this one. Why am I putting it in the other one? AJ getting some action all but the head pin. John got the 1, 2, 3 triangle. Oh, excuse me, there was a sleeper behind there. That's an 8 bucks. Yep. For AJ is both bowlers. Enter box number 9. John getting some decent action there, leaving just the 1 and 3. AJ, great bid again, just off though the object pin. At least the other 3 go. John with a 9, AJ with 9, matching 9s. Again, bowlers not bowling against each other. Their opponents will be back up soon. As we go to the 10th and final box of the third string. John's been open the entire second half here, so could be leaving the door open a bit for Maurice. He'll have the Cleary 4 horsemen left-hand side plus the 9 pin. AJ with just a leave you don't want to see when you want to get a mark. You hit the head pin, the inverted triangle on the right side plus the 7 pin. John with putting a good bid on that one. AJ punching out 1. And I think we need to take a look at that wood there. So Maurice will go take a look at it. It's definitely in the light. not a good piece of wood. John with 3 marks in this string, 2 spares and a strike. John has as many strikes as spares in this match right now. And that will be a 9 box. Very good string though, 113. AJ with an 8. Really some unfortunate luck there, especially in that last box. So a 90 for AJ. I got you with 4 of each. So Maurice steps up knowing what he needs to do here to try to take this string. The pins are still falling. His ball. So we'll take a look here. Maurice 47 through 5 up against John's 113. Definitely going to need some marks. 67 pins, and Pete with a great bid. So Maurice needing 67 pins, probably 3 marks. That's a 9 box. 56 Pete with that was a heck of a try. He'll get a 9 as well. So Pete just needs 29 and 4 boxes to take his 3rd consecutive strike. Well, 29 would tie, 30 would take it, and there's a big strike right there.
Is that good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Let it go. Oh! I thought you had it. I thought you had it right there.
I think I hit a button I wasn't supposed to hit.
It's over here.
That's not good.
He keeps looking back. I think he's asking me what. I'm not going to tell you.
Maurice with the 9 box.
All right, 3 new ones, Mom. I'm still pissed. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that pin sweeps across, doesn't pick up the 10. Pete working on a strike. And the Millis 9, I think they call it. 9-pin drop without hitting the hit pin. Maurice connects. And Pete with the spare. Let's see if this works. Nope. But we'll update that after as we go along. That was a 10 fill. 7th. A spare in the 8th. Maurice is our official scorekeeper. And he's bowling. Well, an official person with the computer here.
Rob.
So Maurice, 5. Alright, we've goofed up big time here.
Glad I mixed that one in there.
Alright, so we have a spare 8 at the 2 fill. And a 4 box there for Pete. Maurice in the 8th at a spare 5. So we'll update the scoreboard in just a second. As soon as Maurice is done, and just off to the right. Pete has won the 3rd string with his 97. And John Ahern's won the 3rd string as well. Maurice has got 9 and 9. And Maurice, when you're done, I goofed up here. Tomorrow I got to see Pete. Got a 4 and then a 10. Hang on a second, bowlers. Similar like goofed. Can you hang in there for just a sec? We get the scores right for our computer. Yeah, he screwed up again. That same spot. Hang on just a sec. If you don't mind. Let's see what Pete had a 10. Oh boy. Pete had. Oh boy. 107 for Pete. Strike, and that was with 10 on it. I keep doing that.
It's such a
Yep.
such a habit.
Now we're gonna put 10 in here. 8. We ended up with we had a 4 box in there somewhere. Spare 8.
I had a 5 fill in my spare.
Right, we'll get that from you. Oh, right. 5 over here. 2 9s after that. Right. Does that look right? 98? All right. But Pete's where we run into trouble here. We'll try to figure out what he got. Hey, Pete, what did you end that string at?
107.
And what you get after, you got a spare after the strike.
Get a spare 5?
I had a 4 box in there.
Yeah, spare 5. Yeah, I'll go back up.
All I remember is a 4 box.
Yeah.
My last frame was a 10, I know that.
10. I'm going to go over here. You get a 4. You know that. We'll get back to live action soon. And what did you say? You got 110?
10 bucks.
Did you just get 110, Pete?
107.
107. Whoops. Well, we'll have to go get the official score sheet, but 107 it is. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
All right. That moves over automatically. So we go to string 4. John with the 10. AJ starts with an 8 and a spare. Fill in the scoreboard here. John with his 3rd ball in the 2nd box. Yep. It's a 9.
Good penny. Nope.
Yep. I know, just to hit it and go out and come back in. I know that.
It was already in it, so you can just leave it.
Let's see. John looking for another strike. He's had at least 4 of them today, looks like. Oh. Good try by AJ. That was a toughie. No matter which way you slice it. John for the single gets it right up. And AJ with an 8. So we're in the fourth string here of this match with B South and D South. AJ leading the check mark. Really great first ball. John working on a spare here in the third. Start his fourth. We're going to fill his third box. It's a head pin, gets some action, leaving 2 and 8 with several pieces of wood. And John gets it right through. Another spare, 2 in a row. And AJ with 10. Fifth and final box of this half of the fourth string for both bowlers. And another split there. 7-10 split. There is some wood. AJ will be hoping something will kick over. And John's got a bunch of wood as well. A couple interesting shots right here.
Nice shot.
Connects. Very nicely done. Big one for AJ. Helps have a lot of spin on the ball. Both bowlers do. Same thing with John. Two pretty spares in the fifth. They each sit down with those. And up steps Pete and Maurice to start their fourth strings. Knowing they're going to need some marks here. Pete's got a spinning top out there, and we'll see if that makes it to the gutter. I don't know if it will. Yeah, look at that thing spin. Of course, that ball was still in play in case it had come off the lip, but that's not happening. But John will retrieve that. Maurice took out the right-hand side, plus the 8-pin.
There you go. Jump on it. Good thing I got my slide pants on.
John had his work shirt on, his construction shirt, so he was taking care of that. Pete, though, single pin for a spare. And it just goes to the left, not by much. Maurice with a great ball, all with the 7-pin. Same spot for Pete. And a 10 for Maurice. Have the official stats, but Pete has been honing in on that head pin pretty frequently. His percentage has got to be pretty high. This is an interesting one here. The wood just did not cover those, but it would have been tough to get to that pin without hitting the wood. Maurice looking for some action here. He's going to get one more, but nope, two more. Look out! Oh man, almost a spinorama. a 9 for Pete. And a 9 for Maurice. Again on the head pin. No split this time. Gets them all. The home run ball.
Make a spare, so that was the only other option.
He says he can't make a spare, so that's the only other option to get a strike. Maurice trying to do the same almost. I believe that's just the 2 pin. That wood to the left. Right. He goes right at it. Spare for Maurice. Strike for Pete. Pete looking for 2 in a row, and he would have had a shot if that wood had hit the 2 pin. Could have been the domino effect. As it is, he'll leave the triangle left-hand side. Maurice's fill ball. That's a big 9 fill. And a friendly piece of wood out in front of that one. Pete connects for the spare.
I had a million shots before there.
And another spare from Maurice. 2 in a row. And there'll be a 6 fill. And 3 on the fill for Maurice.
Wow. Barely.
And a 7 box for Maurice. He'll sit down. With 58. So Maurice 58. John is at. What is John at? John, we have to correct his score. It's 37. Over here, he had 6 for 53. Oh boy. So I'm going to give John his spare here, 6. Right, and a spare 6. And a spare 7.
Six.
Yep. And a 7. And it's a 7 box for John. Right? Yep. AJ, Orthodox. Bowler's back at it. And AJ, there we go. AJ gets the strike. Here's John.
Oh, I thought you had it.
That triangle is so tricky. You gotta hit it really perfectly. Hit the object pin. And a good 10 for John. Of course, at the halfway point, he did leave Maurice by 12. Looking to add a couple spares in the AJ Pete match. Pete leads by 2 with a ball to roll for the 5th. He's still in the 5th. AJ looking for a double almost. And John.
Good game.
Spare for AJ. And John won't get a crack at trying the high-low jackpot. That will be a $7. 94 through 8. AJ with a big 20 in the 7th. Spare in the 8th and a big fill ball upcoming. John, let's see, that's not going to fall at the fill ball. That's a 5 for AJ. John picks off the 10. AJ just punches out the 2. And John, that's an $8. Still got a good string going at 102. AJ with an 8. 115. Through 9 as the bowlers come to their 10th and final box here in string number 4. John right back at it. He's got a 2-pinner with a very friendly piece of wood in front. AJ's going to have to run down the 4 horsemen on the right-hand side. Good game going for AJ, but remember Pete was 64 in a ball. That was a big spare for John. In the 10th. Uh-oh, that's going to be trouble. I think that's going to be trouble when I get to that. Yeah. I'll fill in the 10, so that'll be a $10 for AJ. 125, heck of a game. Have to see what Pete does on his fill. And John with a big fill ball as well. 121 for John Ahern. So both bowlers with good games, but we're going to see what happens here with Pete. Big fill ball with 64. Maurice 58 against 121, so he knows he needs 63 to tie. Need a couple marks.
This ball was really
Certainly possible. John already had 4 strikes and 8 spares. There's Pete's 4 and 8. 4 and 8. Yep. Pete with a 7 fill on his spare.
oh, good bend, Mo.
Oh, and that was a heck of a try. It comes off the wall in front of the 7-pin. All right, Maurice, all over that for a 10.
All right, hang in there.
68. Pete knows he needs 55 in his final 5 boxes here in the second half. Gets 9 of them right there. Gets 9 right there. Definitely needs a mark of some sort. Both bowlers with challenging spare opportunities right here. Maurice right on the object, just a bit heavy. And Pete just off to the right. Maurice hitting the objects, but only gets one there, so that's just a 7.
It was 87 off the 7 tag.
Oh, that's a good feeling. And a 10. Pete.
Nice out.
So Maurice steps up 75. He's going to need to go to work here to get to 121. John put up a big game of 4 marks and fills of 6, 7, 8, and 9. Pete again on the head pin, leaves the check mark. A 10 fell late. That's a little bit of that. Definitely isn't help. Maurice just picks 2 out of the 3, just misses the object. Pete needs 36 and 3 to win this 4th string. The lead. He'll need some good pinning and one big fill on a mark. It's a 10 for Maurice. This is the good pinning part for Pete. Whoop. I don't think that's right.
I'll live for you.
Maurice. Is he going to get it on the rebound? It does. Slow motion replay, but it goes. Pete with the big one there, and the pin falls into the deck just before hitting the 10 pin. And he does get the $10. Pete will need a spare 6 to win, spare 5, spare or strike. So we need a mark with a 5 filled to tie, 6 to win. Maurice on his spares. And some late action, but just 4. So John has officially won the 4th string. Pete needs this spare right here for an opportunity to win the 4th string. He gets it. Maurice with a 10 and a good game of 109. Not enough to eclipse John's 121, but here's Pete. And he gets 6, and that is going to be just enough to take the string by 1. His 4th consecutive string. Take a look at the scoreboard. 126 to 125 over AJ. He picks off the 2-pinner and just gets enough on his fill ball. So right now we have John with 6 points. Maurice has won 1 string. 2 points. John Lowe leads by 39 pins overall. The other match, Pete has taken all 4 strings. He does have a 55 pin lead over AJ as we come to the 5th and final game.
Hey, nice shot, AJ. All the way.
Thanks for joining us here. We see 11 folks out there. And Kyle's right. That was a big shot by Pete. And just enough on the fill. AJ started with the spare. We're going to fill it right now. And that will be a 6 fill. Ah, that's easy enough. John right back at it at the head pin. AJ off to the right. See how John plays this one if he goes to the wood. Tip of the wood, end of the wood. And he does. Actually, it may have been the middle of the wood, but it worked. Very nicely done. And very nicely done for a 10 for AJ. We are at Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis for this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour doubleheader. B and D divisions. Both bowlers you see here are not bowling each other. Their opponents will come up shortly. Hey, AJ! Come on. 4th strike of the day. Unofficially. John working on his spare, disappointing 4. Open for a little bit more off the 2-pin. And he has one more ball to go here in the 3rd. Well, probably wasn't aiming for those, but 2 pins nonetheless. So that's an 8 for John. AJ working on a strike. That was a really good ball, just a bit full, and we get a 3-2 split here. And John's going to get some backdoor action. Has a big bunch in the middle. AJ going to try to convert this somehow, some way. Gets the 3 on the left. That's an 8. Phil. On the strike, John. A head pin hit, might take it.
What?
Oh, goodness. A few what's coming out from the crowd here. And nicely done by AJ for a 10 there. 54-4. And John with his 10 as well. 41-4 as they come to their final box in the first half of the 5th string. AJ, this time no split. But there is a sleeper pin behind the 3. And that's the only one that falls on that throw. John connects. Spear for John in the 5th. AJ with an 8. Solid bowling by each. But let's see what Pete and Maurice have to say about that.
All right, well, let's go.
Pete's been really crushing the head pin today. Not in this particular case, but it's the Millis 8. Just leaving the 1 and 3. Maurice, no luck hitting the 3 pin and just the 3 and 8 going. Boy, Pete is right on target.
Nice shot, Pete.
Maurice, this might go. It should go, and it does.
That's the way to do it, Mo.
We might still have more action here. Yep. Pete will take that in a heartbeat. Gets the extra pin and some very friendly wood there. It's a 7 fill. Maurice needed to reset there. He's working on a spare. And that's a 6 fill. Pete connects. He has been spot on this afternoon.
Right on it. On the outside. Second ball, I thought. Oh, that one. Like, you know when you commentate, you're supposed to watch the ball.
I look forward to building.
And that is a half Worcester for Pete on that particular fill. And Maurice gets a couple of to fall late as well. Just dude.
Oh, there's a ball. Nice shot, Mo.
And I just look away, and what do you know? Maurice makes it for a beautiful spare. And for Pitt, that's a $9. And why does that keep happening? I don't know. So we have a 7-pin fill unless this ball comes back and knocks something down, which it isn't. So 7 for Maurice. That's going to be a really good start for him. 40 through 3. This is up against John's 51 on the ball through 5. This has possibilities here for Maurice. Just hits the wood a bit too high. Pete, that's a $9. And a 9 for Maurice as well.
Thanks, Pete.
That's an 8. So it's that direction. Pete with the 9-pin drop. Maurice.
All right, go get it.
Single pin opportunity, and he nails it. Oh, goodness. Maurice on the object, flies around the 4-pin, leaving just that one. It's going to make a close score here between him and John. That's a 9. And over here, we have a spare. No luck today. So we work our way back to John, who's remember working on a mark. It's at 51 up against Maurice's 57, so 6 Phil would tap a match through 5. Throw a nice ball. It's a split, but it is a 7 Phil. AJ. Looked like a strike ball, gets 8. This one could go for John. A red line could take it if he could hit it. Just a little bit high. AJ, the 2-pinner, no problem. And a 9 box for John this week. Come down the home stretch here, string number 5. So through the 5th box, John did lead the string by 1. And he's right on the head pin, and he's going to get a split here with some wood that try to move around. AJ with a 7 Phil. Uh-oh. All right, back to this reference thing again. Son of a gun.
And I'm all set for you on Wednesday, right?
Yes, yeah, I'll be. My company has an outing, all employee event. So yeah,
I got
thank
it
you.
in my phone. So you all set.
Beautiful. Thank you.
right.
Good. Thank you. Good luck. And we have a 7 Phil on that, and 9 box for that. John with it. Again, hitting the head pin and some wood out there, so we shall see what happens. The pieces of wood are together, so that sometimes doesn't help. 67, 76. Helps this time. John's made some very nice spares today. AJ just leaves 2. And an 8 box. AJ 96. John's, they're still falling from. That's a 9-pin drop and a 9 fill. AJ bidding for a strike, not to be. John, another single pin spare. This could be his best match of the year. I'm going to say score-wise. Have to go to the record books.
Yeah, I'm gonna be against me.
Yeah. He's going to want to bowl 5 strings before 6 strings before his next match. Oh, lots of O's from the peanut gallery. Yeah.
What's that?
Want the sweet? It's been doing that a bunch.
So 105 for AJ. I'd love to put a mark here in the last one. As Pete's on a mark in the 5th. John looking for another good fill, and boy, he's throwing a really great ball. Look at this. Oh,
That was it.
there. Oh boy. Let's see.
So now
It's a 9. Yep.
Yeah.
And that was a $10 for John. What an afternoon for him. 124 and 553 total. AJ almost as high. We'll get that. AJ had 105, gets 7. And we'll see what happens here as both bowlers.
That didn't break my record.
John
564 on these 2 same nights.
564. John has his high 5, so just short of that with his 553, although the same 2 lanes. So he does apparently enjoy lanes 21 and 22 here in Millis. And here comes Maurice. 57, so he's got some work to do here to try to take 2 more. He does have 2 points, so he has something. Here's Pete on his fill ball. Again on the head pin. That's a 5 fill. So he needs at least 1 mark to win this string here. 50 gets him a tie, so need at least 1 mark. And Maurice with a 9. And an 8 for Pete. Winding things down. Right in on the head pin. Looking for some wood to help. And does have something, so that could go. And here comes Pete. Again on the head pin. 9 pin drop. Looks like he'll have to go straight at the 8 pin. Maurice. Oh, goodness. That kind of afternoon looked like he hit an exact right spot. Got 2 out of the 3. Pete connects.
All right, 3 going, Bob.
That's a 9 for Maurice.
That'll get it started. Oh,
And
that's a good ball. Yeah.
not a friendly leave for Maurice. That is 4. Only 4 on the spare for Pete. So that gives him 84. AJ finishes 112, so he's going to need some really good pinning or another mark. Maurice,
Nice pen.
nice 10 for him. Big pins here for Pete. Big pins. He gets one of them. Yeah, Maurice. Connects with the head pin. And not much going. So Pete has won the first 4 strings, but this one is a tight one. AJ with a 112. So Pete would need either a mark or 2 10s would do it for a victory. 19 for a tie. Off to the left, and gets a 9-pin drop.
That's a friendly drop.
I think that was a 2-pin hit. Maurice with a great bid. People need to hit this either the second or the third ball to have a chance to win this match. Unless he gets a mark, he connects. Chance to win the string, excuse me. And Maurice, that is a 7. So we come to the final box here. Even triple strike wouldn't do it for Maurice. You wouldn't want to waste it in that situation, right? You'd want to have that in your back pocket. For Pete, a fill of 5.
That's it. Finish strong. Put that on it now.
8. That will give Pete the final string. So Maurice got a spare in the 10th. We're going to put that on the board. Was that 8 fill? And 108, 110, Maurice. So you got 93, 108. And a 9 over here. So, 5th and final string. That big spear picking up the 10-pin with the 5 fill will give Pete a 117 to AJ's 112. John with the big 124 over Maurice's 110. So, as you can see on the final scoreboard, John takes 12 out of the 14 points. Pete wins all 5 strings against AJ. So that should do it here from Millis. I'm Dave Peterson. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and good night.
Thank you, Dave.
That's my first ever 14 in 5 years of doing this. I've had a bunch of 12s.